It's The Loan Show on KSRO with George Adair. Call in with your questions now at 636-1350.
Hey, good afternoon, Sonoma County. George Adair here, The Loan Show on KSRO 1350. Hey, Michelle, how's it going?
It's going really good.
Good. Yeah, we've got a good show today. We're going to talk about some new things. We always talk about refinancing, right?
Yes, we do.
So we're going to talk a little bit about purchasing.
Okay.
And we'll get into that in just a second. But hey, I'm a licensed real estate broker. I have an NMLS license, which is a abbreviated version of a really long licensing named the National Mortgage Licensing System. So I can help people get loans. I can also answer their questions about loans that they already have. I also work for a company called Bay Equity Home Loans. As you know, we're down on the corner of 4th and E in Santa Rosa. Stop on in, say hello. We have some friendly faces there to greet you. We're doing a lot of business right now. Spring.
Yeah.
You know, summer's coming around the corner. People are thinking about getting into a home. So we're starting to do a lot of what we call TBDs. Do you know what that means?
No, I don't.
A TBD is to be determined. Definitely not specific to our industry, but we use the phrase to talk about people that we've pre-approved to buy a house. Yeah. So we're doing a lot of TBDs, which is, it's a really interesting process people have to go through. A lot of people don't realize they should start with their mortgage lender before they start looking for a house. I mean, it's one thing to sort of dream and fish around the internet to find a house that you like, but it's another to actually have a practical purpose and get into it with both feet. And the only way to really do that effectively is to know what you qualify for.
Right, exactly.
So that's where the whole TBD thing comes into play. Sounds kind of like a condition. You know, did you get TBD'd? So when you get your pre-approval, we put on there some specifics for you, and then you have that letter to show a realtor. A lot of realtors will sort of push back on somebody who calls them on a sign call. We call a sign call where somebody sees the real estate sign in somebody's yard, and they call the sign, hence the sign call. They want to make sure that whoever they're talking to, the realtor wants to make sure that the potential buyer has a pre-approval letter. So you could go to a big bank, and the big banks are going to make you wait 60 days in some cases to be able to close the loan. Or you could go to like a mortgage bank or a mortgage brokerage, and it goes a lot faster. Bay Equity Home Loans, the company I work for, we are a mortgage bank. So we're a direct lender, and we're in total control of our credit decisions in-house. So we can fund loans as fast as 3 weeks. It's really quick.
3 weeks, really? Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty tough to do at the big banks. And a lot of brokers are sort of at the mercy of the lenders they work with. But Bay Equity, again, we just do it all in-house. Credit decisions are made by us. And we do a lot of pre-underwriting. So there's a process that buyers have to go through. They have to qualify, then they have to find a house, and then they have to work with a lender to get their loan approved, right? Well, we like to get it pre-approved all the way based on their credit and income, so there's no surprises. We've got a really good reputation in town for providing like a high pull-through rate. Basically, we take in a lot of loan applications, and we have a very high success in closing those loan applications because we pre-underwrite all of our files. I've got a staff there that's, we have decades and decades and decades of combined experience. We're scores and scores. Score is 20 years, right?
Is that?
I think so.
I thought it was 25. Is it? No, or is it 20? I don't know if it's 20 or 25.
I don't know. Callers?
Should we look this up?
Call in, 636-1350. We are taking your call, 636-1350. And get your calls in sooner than later, as tends to happen with our show, as we get people who hear something that wants to, that generates a call, and then we can't take their call because the show's over. I only have 30 minutes, and that's like 25 minutes of talk time. And that is goes by really fast. So call us here, 636-1350. Let's talk about loans. Let's talk about your existing loans. Let's talk about challenges you're having. Or we could talk about purchasing loans. As I've been talking, TBDs is one facet of our purchase business.
By the way, you're right. Score is 20.
I knew it. I knew it. I would have had some calls if I was wrong on that one. So as I said, spring is in the air. And that, a lot of people think of love and,
And you think of houses.
I think of houses. My wife, if she was here, would be kicking me under the table. Remember, Mother's Day is coming up, folks. So, and as I've said to people, I am a father of 2 now, right? I had my child 6 weeks ago. Landon, he's very cute. Just gave me his first smile last week.
Oh.
So, folks, springtime is a time when people start looking and thinking about buying houses. And it's interesting. The home prices start to actually stabilize as we enter spring, and even we get this little bump in the marketplace. And when that happens, it makes it more competitive to find a house. But it's a really fun thing to do. It's stressful. I've been part of a lot of house purchases, both on an agent side and personally. And just a year ago, I actually bought a new house and moved to Windsor from Healdsburg. And we got this great home in Windsor, and became part of the Windsor community, and it's been really great. But man, what a process!
Yeah.
It took us 6 months.
Really?
Yeah. Fortunately, I knew a good loan guy. That's myself. and then because I'm a broker, I was able to represent myself in the transaction, and we saved some money on the commission by doing that. And gosh, it's so hard to find property right now. So you need to start by getting financed. That's the first thing. Then you need to find a good realtor. At Bay Equity, we have a lot of realtors that we work with that we can recommend to you. We're not a real estate shop. We're just a mortgage bank. And the realtors that we work with are the best in the area. There's some 5,000 members of the local MLS board. So finding the right realtor is its own process. You feel like you want to interview people.
Right.
Well, I know a lot of people in the business, so I can definitely point you in the right direction. We are rolling out a new program that I call the Fresh Start Loan. I was sitting back. I never sit back, but I'm just going to set the story up this way. I was sitting back dreaming about how do I do more loans for Sonoma County? How do I help people that want to get back into a house? A lot of people lost their homes over the last year and 2 and 3 years. And they're sort of in this despair place in their life. They don't know what else to do. They maybe have filed bankruptcy. A lot of negative stories, lots of unfortunate stories of divorce. And it's been a really, really sad time for a lot of people. But it's spring. And I started to think, hey, maybe, the sun's coming out, although today it's hit and miss with the sun. Maybe there's a way to offer a loan program to people that helps them get a fresh start. So I called it the Fresh Start Loan.
I like it.
Witty. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I came up with that all by myself.
Wow.
And so the Fresh Start Loan is something that a lot of people don't realize they can qualify for. And let me set the stage. If you had a foreclosure or you had to short sale your house, which means you had to sell it for less than you owed, and the bank hurts your credit when that happens, they destroy your credit when you foreclose. And if you have a bankruptcy, it's the worst of it all. I mean, people are seeing 150 to 175 point drops from bankruptcy and foreclosure, a combination of them.
Ouch.
So people went from 750 all the way down to 550 or lower. Really crazy, right? And unfortunately, we wear our credit score almost like a badge. When you want to get new credit, boom, you have to get a credit report pulled. And in the next segment, I'm going to talk about how we help people get their credit improved. But I want to hear your stories. So if you're out there, give us a call at 636-1350. 636-1350. Let's talk about your story. I like to answer questions that people don't want to ask when there's a lot of other people around. And the radio is a great format for that. I know that there's going to be a lot of people listening to your question.
But you can give a fake name.
Yeah, give us a fake name. Let's see who can come up with the coolest fake name. Like Bocephus. Is there any Bocephuses out there? Any other interesting questions that you have about what's happened to you over the last 3 years? I'd be happy to answer on the air. So I want to give an example. If you had a BK, a bankruptcy, a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13, it devastated your credit. But it was probably a necessary move because you probably had some debts that you just couldn't make whole, and so BK was your only option. Well, today with the Fresh Start Loan that we're rolling out at Bay Equity Home Loans, we can qualify people if your BK was just over 2 years ago. So if you filed a bankruptcy and it was discharged all the way up until April of 2010, we can look at pre-qualifying you. All you have to have done is reestablish your credit, and hopefully your score has gone back up, your credit score. I've seen people's score go up immediately 2 months out of bankruptcy. Your scores start to actually heal after the bankruptcy has been filed because all that negative debt, all that collection activity, all the recurring late fees, late reporting, sorry, not fees, the late reporting that happens on your credit report, that stops. So it's if you have some debts that you kept through bankruptcy, if you have some new credit cards, there's secured credit cards you can get with like a $300 limit. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about some of these initiatives that you can take to improve your score. But if you've reestablished your credit and it's just been over 2 years, you should be calling us. So take down this number. I want you to call folks at my office and start your pre-qualification for the Fresh Start loan. It's 583-8100. Call my office at 583-8100, and we'll start to see if you can pre-qualify for the Fresh Start loan. Another example is if you have the foreclosure or short sale. If that occurred just over 3 years ago. So if you had a foreclosure or short sale that was finished and finalized by April of 2009, then we can also look at qualifying you for the Fresh Start loan. So folks, you're sitting there, you're listening to this. You probably know people. You probably have friends and neighbors. You have family who've been down this road, and they didn't know that they can actually go qualify for another home loan. So we're going to go to our first break. When I come back, I'm going to give you an example, a specific example of a payment and down payment that it takes to get into a new house today with our Fresh Start loan. Taking your calls live at 636-1350, 636-1350. Stick around. We'll be right back.
To find out more about Bay Equity Home Loans, call George Adair at 707-583-8100. That's 707-583-8100.
Hey there, Sonoma County. This is George Adair, host of the all-new Loan Show on KSRO. I'm inviting KSRO listeners to join me on Wednesday at 12:30 for a lighthearted but informative look at mortgage and real estate matters that affect you. I want your calls and questions, so join me Wednesdays at 12:30 for the Loan Show on KSRO. Folks, you know I'm always touting the benefits of a 15-year fixed loan, right? My logic is simple. Most people will save over $100,000 in interest. You could actually own your home free and clear by the time you retire. I want you to know that Bay Equity Home Loans is offering a 15-year loan at 3.25%, APR 3.39%. So call me at 583-8100 and see if you qualify for this amazingly low fixed-rate loan and start paying your loan off for good. Call 583-8100 and see how much you can save. That number again is 583-8100. Don't forget to tune into the Loan Show on KSRO every Wednesday at 12:30.
Department of Corporations number 6053919, NMLS 238915, Equal Housing Lender.
The Monster Trucks return to Santa Rosa this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 huge days featuring world champion Bounty Hunter returning to do battle with King Crunch, El Matador, Titan, and Ice Cream Man. Plus extreme freestyle motocross featuring Metal Militia's Jimmy Fitzpatrick, along with Jeff Griffin, flying 80 feet in the air, doing sick tricks and backflips, and tough trucks all 3 days. Yeah, it's the Les Schwab Spring Monster Truck and Freestyle Motocross Spectacular. There's a Friday night pre-show pit party, and on Sunday, Motorhome Demolition Derby. And this year will blow you away. Advanced discount tickets at all 4 Sonoma County Les Schwab tire stores. And thanks to the good guys at Pick and Pull, the first 500 kids on Friday night get a free toy monster truck. Sponsored by Rental Solutions and Friar Tuck. That's this Friday and Saturday night with a Sunday afternoon show at 1. Monster Trucks, freestyle motocross, top truck racing, all at the fairgrounds in Santa Rosa. Get your advanced discount tickets now at Les Schwab.
Moon Essence. Truth and beauty. Know your label. The average woman applies more than 200 chemicals to her skin in one day. 70% of these chemicals are absorbed into the body. That's why Moon Essence's organic skin and body care is one of the purest in the beauty industry today. Moon Essence offers healthy, natural skincare, free of harmful chemicals and synthetics.